Alrighty, so you guys asked for it, so here it is. Dad's 72 burnt C10. I'm gonna try to get this thing running and driving. It's a little worse than I remembered it being. Everything is melted underneath here. Really needs rewired under here. For now, I'm gonna just try to get this thing wired up, plumbed up enough to get it inside the shop, and then from there we can start going and digging a little deeper. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is my dad's 72 C10. Unfortunately, over the summer, we got this thing pretty much all the way done and roadworthy, and we had some kind of fire happen on the truck. It's a cool little short bed truck here, but yeah, you can see everything is pretty toasty in here. I mean, got every single plug wire burnt up. Fuel line, distributor back here is melted. Just everything. Charred our hood. Then you come inside here. Chewed up the windshield. Got a lot of our wiring down in this area and all that stuff. But backstory, did a ton of rust repair on this old truck. Floors, all kinds of stuff, inner rockers. Put it down 6 inches in the rear flip kit. Got 3-inch springs up front. So a lot of the hard work as far as body work, rust repair and all that's already been completed on this truck. So now we just need to go back and start doing all the other stuff that needs done. As you can see behind me, it's pretty charred up. So I'm gonna assess the situation and try to figure out a game plan. Just gonna try to do this as simple as possible. I've got an HEI in the shop that I've had laying around. Got that, some plug wires, gonna put that on there. Gonna try to do some fuel lines, and then we're just gonna basically direct wire this thing just as simple as we can, get it fired up, hopefully get it in the shop. So let's do that right now. I also forgot to add, it is now December 13th. I'm really trying to get this done before Christmas to kind of surprise my dad that it's back on the road. And by back on the road, I don't mean it's gonna be, you know, 100% functional and everything is exactly as it should be, but it'll be running and driving nonetheless. Just kind of going in here right now, like I was saying, just trying to clean some stuff up, man. That's just a little overwhelming looking in here, seeing a bunch of burnt wires, hoses, all that good stuff. So I'm just trying to trimming some of this back. I mean, it's obviously all gonna need replaced. That's what's left of our old coil. Try to pop this distributor cap off if possible and see where we're at timing wise, just so we can get it relatively close when we put our new distributor in. Holy Lord. When I say there's like nothing salvageable, I absolutely mean it. It's hard to even tell where the heck the rotor button was on this thing. I'm gonna say it was pointing right here at the backside of our booster. You can see it didn't survive very well in the heat. Let's see if we can't get this old distributor popped up and out of here. Try to get a little of that junk scraped away from the base plate there. So, to me, looks like I was saying, our rotor's pointed to the back of our booster. I'll just try to lift this thing up and out of here. Oh wow, I was wondering if that heater box was going to be okay. I'm saying no. Sometimes if those things are being really stubborn about wanting to go in, it's easier just to barely bump your key, and it'll usually seat. I'm sure somebody will say that's the wrong way to do it, but I've done it 135 times with great success, so that's how I do it. Alrighty, as you can see, it got a little dark on us, unfortunately. Oh, I had to go get my daughter, then hung out with her, and it's winter, so here we are. Got the cap on, got our hot wire going to our coil, as I plan to just run a cable off of our starter solenoid down there. I'm gonna run a hot from a battery, tie it together with that one. This is all just temporary, just to pretty much get it in the shop, and then we'll have our jumper wire there from the starter solenoid to touch to those two wires, and with those two things, this thing should fire up. It's basically how we used to wire all of our demolition derby cars and all that good stuff. I'm gonna check this alternator, just make sure it's not sending power anywhere, because as you've seen earlier, our harness is completely wrecked right now. See if we can get this thing turning over. I don't have the distributor hooked up or wired up at the moment. Alrighty, so we got some spinach. In order to get spark, we're going to have to hook this long red wire from the positive to our V positive on our coil side of our HEI, and then from there, that should give the coil spark. And then all we're going to need is gas after that. Round one. Uh-oh. It wants to. Give it a little bit more gas here. And I don't even know if any of these gaskets are going to be good in this carburetor, so I'll be looking for that to shut her down pretty quick also. Alrighty, round two. Should start pulling up some of that gas here before long, I hope. That's always good. Burn her down again. I'm not picking up any gas just yet, it doesn't seem like. Which it hasn't ran very long, so. We got gas coming out of that carburetor pretty good, I think. The gasket's probably shot in that thing. Just what I was afraid of. Every gasket looks like it's burnt out of that carburetor and just really leaking everywhere. So that's about the last thing we want to do is freaking have another fire happen. So yeah, I don't look like I'm going to get this thing in the garage to do that intake and carb swap. So we might be doing it outside. We'll call that a win for night one. See you guys tomorrow. Alrighty, so we're gonna start with our intake swap today, because this carburetor has just a heck of a leak everywhere, so it's not gonna work out for us what we're doing. And I was hoping to get this intake and everything swapped in the shop, but it's not gonna work out because of all the gas just pouring out of our intake currently. So we're just gonna go ahead and opt to get all this removed real quick. We'll pop that distributor out real quick and all that good stuff, and then we'll start getting this old cast iron intake off. And then I've got an aluminum Edelbrock and then a 650 Holley we're gonna be putting on this truck. So let's start getting all this stuff removed and do that. So everything is surprisingly super clean in this engine. I kind of had suspected that it might have been rebuilt in the past due to just the color of everything, and it's kind of looking that way. I mean, it's really nice on the inside, no sludge buildup or anything. Kind of surprising to me, somebody actually used the gaskets that come with your intake. Just about everybody that I know, including myself, uses like an RTV in the front here. I don't know, I've never used these. It wasn't leaking anywhere, so man, I guess they worked out pretty good for this. So we're all cleaned up, about as good as I'm gonna get it. Everything looks pretty good, no pitting or anything like that. Like I was saying, this valley is just super clean. I'm pretty surprised on that, which is not a bad find. I'm gonna eventually do something, I think, with these valve covers. They're obviously looking pretty bad. I've got some old Edelbrock chrome tall ones in there so we can make everybody think we got some big old roller rockers underneath here or something. I don't know. Let me know down below what you think. I got the intake all prepped up pretty dang good. I did hit this with a straight edge. I've seen and heard some people having some problems with used intakes before. And this one was not warped or nothing, so that's a big win. So just doing a dry run here just to see if it's gonna be pretty solid on here, and it looks pretty good. That already looks a lot better, and it's a lot easier on my back getting that thing in. Somebody did put a plug in here with some RTV. We'll see what happens. I'm just kind of trying to use everything I got laying around. That's including this nipple, this little filler neck, and all that stuff. Just kind of going off what we got here. So now that I see this is all fitting really nice, I'm gonna pull this back off, get our intake gaskets slapped on there, then we'll start heading in the right direction once again. Alrighty, so this is a Holley 650, like I was saying. It has just been rebuilt by my buddy Brent. Dad, if you're watching this, you might owe Brent a couple free haircuts. Ran into a little snafu on our radiator hose, so I'm going to be cutting it and extending it for the time being until we get us another one. Got this little piece of aluminum I'm going to put in there in its place. I should be good to go after that, hopefully. Probably need replaced. Well then. So with Christmas approaching, what did you guys ask for? A new crappy C10? That's always a good thing to ask for. How do you guys like the driveway builds instead of being in the shop? It's definitely a little bit more time consuming for me whenever I gotta run all the way back in there and grab stuff, but it's kind of cool working out here. I also got a CJ5 tub out front. I'm thinking about building like a rat rod style build, I guess you could call it, with that. Let me know below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, because I'm just getting a little tired and burnt out of working on C10s every single time we're out here. So kind of wanting to do something different and just something to use a little bit of creativity. So let me know down below if that's something you'd like to see. I think it'd be a fun build, but essentially going to be using anything and everything I got laying around the shop to make that thing a functioning vehicle. Alrighty, gotta get the distributor cap on, hook up the throttle pedal, hook up our wires, and then should be ready to see if this new carburetor is gonna be any good or not. Alright, round one, see what happens. Sure, it's gonna need tuned and idle air and everything else is gonna need to be done, but whew, I think it should have some gas in it still, so. Way late. It's coming out of the carburetor, so I'm saying we might have a timing issue. Trying to think.
Say hi. Hi.
So unfortunately, it's probably gonna have to wait till tomorrow because I'm out of kind of time because it's starting to rain outside. So I might have just flooded that thing out a little. I'm not real sure. So I got a lot of crap to clean up here though. So that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. See y'all tomorrow. I guess your boy Matt couldn't figure this out, so he's called me. We'll see what we can do here. What in the world's he got going on? I can't get it with my furry little paws. Let me go get some gloves on. This guy's got nothing but junk, I tell you. Here we go. Maybe it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. It's like we don't have spark at all. Let me check that real quick. It appears Matt had the distributor 180 out. Let's see if this makes any difference. Alrighty, so we had to get a little bit of a battery charge in. Matt was supposed to be back hours ago. I guess he's not coming up. Here he is now. Hello. What's going on? Oh, not too much, man. Just hanging out with the family. Well, how's the truck coming? Oh, yeah, I'm sure you are still busy. Yeah, I haven't had any luck so far. What are you up to? Oh, man, you know, just trying to be dad and everything, trying to run around doing all that good stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, tell the family I said hi. I'll keep working at it. Yeah, he said he's still tied up, so let's get this battery slapped back in this thing and see what we can do. What do you think about that? All right then. Oh man, it's starting to snow. I'd really like to get this thing in the shop. What do you say we try to get her in the shop? Alrighty, my work here is done. I've got the truck in the garage. That's what Matt wanted me to do, so I'm gonna get back to my lair now. I'll turn it back over to him. So I'm back out here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the holiday cheermaster out here yesterday, getting the truck in here for us. He did pretty good work, I think. So we've got the truck running pretty decent. I'm gonna put a timing light on it here in a little bit, but I wanna get the sketchy wiring figured out. I actually got behind me, I actually took this out of my last demo car. It's exactly what I ran. It's just a switch here and then push button to start, and then obviously you just push it back in to kill it. That went through the firewall and all that stuff, so it's kind of what we're going to be doing on this truck temporarily. You can see this right here. We'll go to our distributor. We'll have a wire going down to that starter solenoid like we do currently, and then also to a battery terminal end, and then that'll all work together kind of like we were doing, but it'll just be a little bit less sketchy than having those open wires and stuff like that. and it'll be just a little bit easier and safer to move this thing around. As I said, I do plan in the future putting a full harness in this. I kind of got up underneath the dash, dug around and whatnot, and definitely needs a harness. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was underneath, but definitely still needs gone through. So let me get this kind of sorted out real quick, see what we got going. Alright, now brace yourself, fellas. I don't want your wife getting jealous whenever you look at this and start getting that weird smile on your face. Just the sheer ingenuity alone is, well, it'll just speak for itself. So, with any luck, we'll pull that unit out right there and hit our push button. And then to turn it off, just simply... This truck at this point is pretty much unstealable to the modern day society with a 3-gunner tree and with that unique starting mechanism we just came up with. So yeah, that's a pretty successful night. At least now we can get out, get around, and actually move this truck without all of the redneck wiring, which that's definitely not redneck there at all. So pretty happy about that. At least anybody can almost get in there now and fire that thing up. They don't have to twist wires and all that stuff. But got our hot wire going in. That's obviously going into our little toggle there. And then we got the purple wire coming off the solenoid leading into that same wire. Then you've got your jumper from your B positive on your coil going up to your red wire there coming straight from the battery, and then when you pull those two out, it'll connect, and well, you get what I'm saying. I don't really recommend doing this. I just want to do this just to get this thing where it's movable so we can get it in and out of the shop, because that's the last thing I like to have is a truck sitting here that's unmovable without 100 things to do. I like to be able to just jump in one, fire it up, and get her going. So that's what I did here. Got this thing, kicks right off actually. So next step is I'm going to throw a timing light on this, and then I've got some actual lift shackles on the back of this because it's a little low in the back. So we're going to do that and then hopefully get her out for a test drive. Well, here we are again. So today I'm going to be putting our lift shackles on the back. These are lift shackles in comparison to what most people put on a two-wheel drive as lowering shackles, but currently we have a flip kit on here, so it's just a little lower than the front, and it's got that little bit of a stanky leg or whatever you want to call it. It's got a lean to it, but main reason we're doing it is on these second generation C10s, when you get a little too low with the one-piece drive shaft, it starts rubbing a lot of stuff. We did clearance quite a bit in here, but we still got some rubbage on the back of the cab and a cross member right in this area right here. So with this being closer together like that, it's actually going to bring your leaf spring further down, lower or lifting the truck, whereas a lowering shackle would be farther up, putting your leaf springs farther up, making the frame itself get a little lower. So going from the floor to our center of our wheel well here, we are at 25 1/4. So with any luck, when we get this thing done, it'll be around 26 1/4, or maybe even a little higher, so it's not leaning as much. Let's get going. So these are not going to work out because this is straight here and it won't go over to our eyelet on our leaf spring. It's hitting inside of our bracket down here, As you can see, these here, they have that forward tilt to them. Yes, I could cut these, tilt that forward, but it's just not really hardly worth it for me. The big bummer, it just stinks whenever little things like this do not work out, because that would have been pretty sweet. But if I would have looked at the other ones, I would have seen that they didn't line up. As you can see here, you gotta pull it down. It's hard to do with one hand, but that's the misalignment right now, so you have to pull the axle back. And if you've already seen the saga of this truck, you know that the rear end kind of sits far back in the wheel well already, so that's the last thing I want to do is pull it back any further, because it would just make it look not that great. So, oh man. Shave this side down here so it could fit down in that perch better. So now we can't return these, so that's always good. I think the move might be in the future, we just drop that rear shackle down, the whole thing, drop it down about an inch, and just go back to our original shackles. We just gotta knock 4 rivets out of that, and then drop the perch down, drill some new holes, and should be pretty good after that. So it might be the move we go for on that. As far as this video goes, that's not going to happen because I'm running out of time. But alrighty, I guess we're out of time for tonight, unfortunately, again. Alright, we're back, and I didn't go down without a fight. I tried something else. I actually lowered the truck down and left the spring unbolted, and as you lower the truck down, the spring itself actually lands farther back. So we've actually got it all bolted up, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I didn't measure this side beforehand, but it's saying 27 inches, so it could just be that far off from side to side. I don't know. This truck definitely has some wonky panels on it, so who knows if that's even accurate, but it's got to be higher in theory. I mean, it's shorter, so it's got to bring that leaf spring down, and if you bring the leaf spring down, you're bringing the rear end with it, so it's going to move that rear end farther away from the frame, hence raising it. So I don't know. I'm going to try to attack this other side real quick, and we'll get a measurement again, see what we got. Wow. This is amazing. Son of a gun. That was fun. Woo! Good job, guys. Wow, that was a load of fun. I will admit that. So, yeah. Time to measure, see if we did anything at all after all that work. Alright, we were at 25 1/4. Now we're exactly at 26 1/4. So I guess all that work wasn't for nothing. We came up an inch, so hopefully that'll get us away from our rubbing issue we were having, and also get the truck sitting a little bit more level. Nothing worse than seeing something sagging around in the back. Sorry for the guys that like the squat, but not my cup of tea on that one. Yeah, a little roller coaster tonight. Thought we were out of luck, but a little perseverance and some redneck ingenuity, we got it done. So didn't get to film the last part of actually putting that in because I had to drop the truck all the way down, let the springs kind of slide back like I was saying, and getting the camera in there, let alone myself, just wasn't going to happen. So you should take my word for it. Everything's bolted up, looking nice. Hopefully here before long we can get this thing out on the road, because that's where it needs to be with no headlights, taillights, or anything. But I'm off this upcoming Friday, so hopefully get this thing out on a little daytime rip. Alright, now that we've got everything pretty much ready to go, I want to put a timing light on this and get this thing dialed in a little bit better before we give it to Dad, which is closing in pretty quickly, so let's get this thing tuned up. Just jumped up in the truck while we were doing that. I thought this thing was about to take me all the way out. Alrighty, ended up putting about 32 degrees total in this thing, and it seemed to be very excited to be at that spot. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. We can do some more tuning and stuff on the carburetor when the time's right. Still need to hook up that electric choke and stuff like that, but it's pretty dang dialed in for right now. So get all that unplugged. Got to lock that distributor down real quick. I'd like to find something to hook up to that vacuum advance. And then I got a pretty cool little air breather off the Amazoo I'm gonna slap on here. Alrighty, when I said I got a cool air cleaner, it was basically the cheapest one I could find on Amazon that I thought would work. And unfortunately, it's got a big drop, which is not going to work out. So I'm going to do the next best thing, turn it upside down, slip her on there, and boy howdy, I think it's going to work. Cool, cool. Now, the true question is, will the hood clear it? I think it will, though. Check out that unit right there. Well, it's not even wanting to start on there, so it came with this too, so maybe this is what it's supposed to have on here. And that piece there is pretty gaudy, in my opinion. Alrighty, that should be pretty solid. Heck yeah. This thing's gonna be a race truck before we know it. Not looking too bad under here. Like I was saying, we need to do something with these valve covers, which I don't have any gaskets, so I'm not even gonna do that today. But that's something we need to address. And then this old engine will be looking pretty sweet, really, in my opinion. Now I'm going to try to clean up on this thing a little bit because it's charred, and I've got some products by Sweet Patina I think that'll help us out with all that. And if you're thoroughly impressed with them, like I am, you can use this code right here, get yourself some, save yourself a little bit of money, and help me make a little bit. No more cost to you, just helps me out. Blake's a killer dude, so go check his products out if you don't care, and tell him I sent you by using that code. Light's gone. Alrighty, got her all cleaned up here. It's not perfect. I could stand to hit the top a little bit more, and obviously we're still charred. No amount of chemical is going to do that, but we can actually see out of this windshield now, out the back glass. I even changed out the door handle, the window handle, whatever you want to call it, and put a new one on because that piece there was broken. So yeah, everything's looking pretty sweet on this thing. I even descaled a little bit on our burnt portion. What do you guys think? Leave that, just kind of a battle scar, pull the hood, do some prep work, and try to paint it. We do have some color match paint. As you can see down there on the cab corner, I color matched that and everything, so we could come up here and color match it, but I don't know. Might just let her wear her badge of honor there, so. So it's a couple days. It's Saturday currently. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, then Christmas. So there's a couple things I'd like to get done before that. I'd like to go ahead and trim this whole harness out that's burnt and try to get that all kind of cleaned up a little bit more. That way I can kind of make heads or tails what I got going on. A guy did just actually message me on Instagram and said he's got a kind of a, I guess, a pull-out version, like just a stock harness. He's talking about maybe sending it out from California, so that'd be super awesome. I'd be super appreciative of that. I know that's not a brand new harness, and I know that some people might frown on that, but you know, if it's in good shape, what the heck, you know? So saving some money, that's what I'm all about. You can see here we had quite a bit of crud on this, but yeah, we were using the Sweet Patina products. That one ran into some chemical and kind of messed up on that logo, but that's the glass cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, and then the interior cleaner. All those. Also got me a new dustpan. I guess I can throw that one away that I made the other night. Oh yeah, kind of rambling around, but just kind of doing some things here. I'm gonna try to plan on giving this thing to Dad Christmas Day. I was gonna actually drop this video beforehand, but Dad kind of watches the videos, so that wouldn't make much sense. So you guys are going to tag along when we drop this thing off to him. Yeah, I think it's turning out pretty sweet. We might actually go for a little rip here in a minute just to make sure everything's dialed, because that's the last thing I want to do is get him in it and something happen to where he can't drive it around just for a little bit. So I'm going to try out some different hubcaps real quick. It's actually the ones we had on the truck whenever we first did it. So we've got these dog dishes. They look pretty sweet. But we're going to just try these other ones out and tell me what you guys think. And before you comment, I know these are the square body ones, but the only ones we have that are, you know, the second generation C10 caps, they're a little bit rough. So I just think those look killer. So let me slap these on all the way around and I'll walk you around and see what you think. Alrighty, got them slapped on here. I do like these center caps a lot. They look pretty dang sweet on here. I don't know, just kind of makes it look like it's got a chrome wheel. It's a full cap, I know, but I just think they look cool as heck. What do you think, Layla? So for now, I'm gonna leave those on there. Dad can tell me what he wants to do later on, but man, I really dig those. I'm a big dog dish guy, but I think that just has a killer look to it. Almost forgot the most important part of any interior detail. And that's gonna be hanging up some air fresheners. Well, we just lost our other one behind the seat, so I guess she's just gonna roll with one visible, so you can get those on the website and it'll help us out. It'll help us make more irresponsible decisions. So link in the description below for that if you decide you would like to see an air freshener in your ride. Cruising along. Actually doing pretty good. It doesn't have power brakes anymore, which because that vacuum line got burned up, which is making it a little hard to brake right now. You got to really stand on these things, which kind of stinks, but kind of already knew that was coming. So I'm gonna grab some coolant from up here at the house. I got one jug in my truck up here, so do that. We'll top this thing off. I think it should be pretty good to present to Dad Christmas Day, so you'll want to make sure you stick around for that. That'll be pretty cool, I think. Well, unfortunate news. We are getting some antifreeze seepage from our really cool high dollar filler neck there. That's why I don't really care for that style, because there's an O-ring up top and there's an O-ring in the bottom, and I just don't have very good luck. You can see we're puddled up there, so that's just gonna have to be what it is for now. It'll be something I can fix in the future. It's not just catastrophic at the moment, so it'll be good enough to show Dad, so that's all we're really wanting to do, is just kind of surprise him a little bit, so. Yeah. Always something. Alrighty, walking out here now. I'm gonna surprise Dad. Hopefully this thing will start. It's my luck, like, you know how it goes. You go to sell a truck or do anything, they just never want to fire up, it seems like, so. Yeah, gotta throw a battery in this, and then we'll drive it up here. Started raining again. It's been pretty much quit for the last hour and a half or so, and then of course as soon as I go get the truck out, it fires up raining again. Oh well.
There it is. It's running again. Yeah, that looks good, don't it? Oh, it got the whole water up there.
Power brakes currently because it burned it all up.
Oh, really?
So I'll have to fix that.
It ain't rubbing no more, that don't seem like it.
I haven't heard it yet.
I brought it up, didn't I? Yeah, I might have solved that.
It rolls out good though.
Oh, yeah.
Got it right. Good. No fires?
No fires here.
I thought I should have gave you guys that fire extinguisher before you left.
Well, I hope you guys had a great Christmas, but that's gonna wrap this one up. Gotta get Dad's old 72 out of the shop because we got another one coming right at you here directly. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it and you want to keep up with everything, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much, and also maybe hit that like. Until the next one, we'll see y'all later.